I've been the CFO of 3 public companies before, most recently Vivio, which was in the video processing and compression space and was sold to Ericsson of Sweden in October 2015. Well, part of it is because of my experience in the systems business and trying to do something very similar back 10, 12 years ago in replication and abandoning the project because it was too hard. The two things that were really attractive is, one, we've gotten it to work at WANdisco, and the fact that IBM has OEM'd it with their own label on it gives you credibility in the enterprise space. It's very difficult to match as an independent company, as going and selling it under your own name. So having the IBM private label was an endorsement of quality and that the company's products were doing what they say on the tin. I found that very attractive. Well, continuing to watch the cost structure so we can converge and move through break even into being cash flow positive, I think is important. I think given the revenue and the pipelines we're seeing on the horizon, that seems like an achievable goal in the near term, but one must always be vigilant on costs. Well, on the revenue side, you've seen the announcements on the various partnership relationships. So we've moved very much from what was originally a direct sales model, which is very expensive, and you tend to get into a cycle of hiring somebody, seeing how they perform, rinse and repeat type of thing. And that's a very expensive model for a small company to go off and make successful. But we have a tremendous amount of leverage on the sales side now with our indirect channels. So we get basically 2 bites of the apple with that. We get a cost efficiency, but we get name recognition who can bring us into Fortune 500 companies that would be very difficult to penetrate as WANdisco on itself. So that drives cost efficiency on distribution. And then on the cost side, also taking a look at making sure everything is in the proper relation and making sure G&A is the portion that has the least amount of spend in prioritizing research and development and sales and marketing. Well, remember, we're a subscription model primarily, outside of the royalties from IBM. The best way to look at the business in terms of an early look is to monitor the bookings acceleration, because that's the precursor to revenue. Typically, a contract can be between 1 and 3 years when it's signed. That generates a booking, but the realization of revenue through the financial statements will be pro rata over the period of performance. So that builds up predictability for reported revenue, because those are typically deferred revenue items that are amortized into revenue. So primarily looking at the booking business like any typical SaaS business rather than a perpetual license model, it'd be the best way to evaluate the near-term performance.